Hello and welcome to Annapolis City Digest. I'm Rhonda Wardlaw. Making headlines, Mayor Josh Cohen announced the city's overtime spending in July was 48% under budget, a strong indicator that departments are operating efficiently under the new budget constraints. Now, of the $149,340 budgeted for overtime in July, city departments spent a combined $77,050. In order to promote greater transparency, the mayor posted the report on the city website. You can go to annapolis.gov and from there go to City Reports and Documents, then click on July Overtime Report. While transportation was the only department that exceeded its budgeted overtime amount, the administration has already proposed substantial cuts that will significantly reduce operating costs for transportation. The City Council is expected to act on those recommendations a bit later this month. Mayor Cohen pointed to reduced overtime figures for July as a sign that the city's budget, though strict, is achievable through sound management. Well, meanwhile, Annapolis and Anne Arundel County recently partnered to expedite an early revenue payment that will bolster the city's cash revenue. Anne Arundel County Executive John Leopold authorized an early payment of $875,000 in property tax revenue and other funds to the City of Annapolis. The money, which is normally paid out in the fall, will help keep the city up with expenses at a time when its cash reserves are depleted. Now, the $875,000 represents $750,000 of property tax revenue and $125,000 of the city profit share from the Eisenhower Golf Course. The mayor's priorities during this period are first, making payroll, second, make debt payments, and thirdly, pay all vendors. Based on the latest cash flow projections, the city is expected to make payroll through September and is current on its debt payments. While the city is scheduled to receive, by the way, the balance of that $17 million in property tax revenue by October from Anne Arundel County. As part of balancing the budget, city administrative offices as well as the Roger Pitt Moyer Community Recreation Center will be closed to accommodate 4 furlough days in the remaining months of 2010. Now, Mayor Josh Cohen determined that the most effective and efficient way to implement the furlough days was to connect the day to a scheduled holiday. The furlough day was already taken over the Labor Day holiday on September 3rd, with the remaining 3 days including Friday, November 12th, which is after Veterans Day, Friday, November 26th, the day after Thanksgiving, and Monday, December 27th, the first workday after the Christmas holiday. Essential departments such as police and fire will continue operations during those days. Sworn firefighters and police officers will follow a different schedule of days off to be determined by their respective departments. Well, we have 4 aging trees that were recently cut down in the historic district because of safety concerns. The declining trees were identified on Duke of Gloucester and Conduit Streets. A landscape architect, tree expert, and certified arborist and tree consultant all determined that the sections of the 40-foot trees near the base were hollow, making them a significant risk. All 3 agreed that the trees must be removed immediately, along with several residents that petitioned to have one of them removed on Conduit Street as soon as possible as well. Now, the decision to take down the trees came after officials from the Department of Environment and Neighborhood Programs went before the Historic Preservation Commission last month. They requested the removal of the trees. The city is now required to go before the HPC in September with detailed information on the replacement trees. Well, Eastport Volunteer Fire Department has a new ladder truck. Despite losing more than $1 million originally set aside in the budget for a new truck in 2011 in that budget, a partnership between Eastport Volunteer Fire Department and the Annapolis Fire Chief David Stokes made all of the difference. Knowing that the city could not afford to buy a ladder truck, Chief Stokes approached the volunteers at the Eastport Fire Department about making the actual purchase themselves. Well, the group graciously provided $175,000 toward the purchase of the ladder truck. Now, the Annapolis Fire Department had to chip in $35,000, and they got that from state grants. While the original asking price for the 2001 ladder truck was $250,000, Annapolis secured it for $210,000 with the trade of the old truck, which was valued at $5,000. Chief Stokes calls this a win-win situation, saying, quote, "We got an upgraded truck and will increase the efficiency of the fire department and the safety of our firefighters without using funds from city taxpayers." Well, the mayor invited citizens to attend a forum at City Hall with Fred Kinte. He's an international authority on revitalization of city spaces as part of his renewed discussion on the Market House and City Dock redevelopment. If you were unable to attend, you can watch the video of the Market House revitalization discussion by simply going to this address. The event was held on Wednesday, August 25th in City Council chambers and was organized by the Annapolis Sustainable Business Alliance in an effort to solicit expert advice on the opportunity to transform the Market House and City Dock into a more public space. Well, get a load of this. Annapolis has been selected as a Playful City USA community for the second straight year. The honor recognizes the city for taking innovative approaches to making play a priority for the health and well-being of our area children. Annapolis is one of 118 cities and towns across the country that earned the coveted recognition as a 2010 Playful City USA community. For your information, Tacoma Park, Chevy Chase, Laurel, and Greenbelt all joined Annapolis as being honored for those cities. The Kunta Kinte Heritage Festival is back this year with a day-long celebration. The event, now in its 23rd year, will be on Saturday, September 25th. The festival is being held again this year at Annapolis City Dock from 10 in the morning until 7 in the evening on Saturday and is free and open to the public. The festival's location at the Annapolis City Dock is significant and appropriate because it was one of the actual site of Kunta Kinte's arrival to America. Now, this site is now memorialized with a statue of historian and author Alex Haley, a descendant of Kunta Kinte. To learn more about the festival, you can go to kuntakinte.org. The mayor and board of commissioners and staff of the Housing Authority of the City of Annapolis dedicated the Eliza May Robinson Community Center as well as the Joseph Zastro Sims Community Center. Both advocates for youth and community, Mrs. Robinson fought unfair housing practices in Annapolis. As the number of problems grew, Mrs. Robinson became the spokesperson for the Kenmore Resident Council and led the residents into one of the longest and most successful rent strikes in Maryland's history. Meanwhile, Joseph Zastro Sims was honored for his service in the city of Annapolis during the riots of 1968, as well as advocating for youth in the city of Annapolis. Both community centers are currently open to the public. Well, now that you are up to date on all of the local news, let's check in with our Fred Taylor, better known to all of you as Squire Frederick, our town crier, to tell us about what happened on this date back in 1776. Squire Frederick.
Well, thank you, Rhonda. And here's some news from the Gazette. The national news: the King has been pleased to order letters patent to be passed under the Great Seal of Great Britain, constituting and appointing Richard, Lord Viscount Howe, of the Kingdom of Ireland, and his brother, the Honourable William Howe, Esquire, Major General of His Majesty's forces, and General of His Majesty's forces in North America only, to be His Majesty's commissioners for returning peace to His Majesty's colonies and plantations in North America, and for granting pardons to such of His Majesty's subjects there, now in rebellion, as shall deserve the royal mercy. And an extract from a letter from Paris. Dr. Franklin, minister from the United States of America, had the honor of presenting to the King the medal struck here by order of the Commissioners of the Congress on occasion of the independence in their country. This medal will transmit to the remotest ages the epoch of one of the most remarkable revolutions in the history of mankind. And now, for our local news. Wanted to hire immediately a single man who understands waiting at table and can write a good hand. Such a person of good character may hear of a place where good encouragement will be given by applying to the printer hereof. On Monday last, arrived here the ship Harford, captained by Captain N. Richardson from London. She left England the 7th of June. In this ship came several passengers, among whom the late proprietor and the governor of Maryland. Okay, back to you, Rhonda.
Thank you so much, Squire Frederick, and thank you all for joining us on this edition of Annapolis City Digest. You can watch this episode online anytime at annapolis.gov. Just click on Stay Connected on the right side of the page, then select City TV On Demand. Archived episodes are also available at acdigest.blip.tv, and you can subscribe to the free video podcast at iTunes. Until next time, I look forward to seeing you back here on Annapolis City Digest.